Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports with me, Roots, live for the Champions Cup game this evening. Kickoff at 17 or 19:30 South African Standard Time. Wherever you tuned in the world, it's going to be an exciting clash. As we know, it's a playoff game within a playoff game, so the Stormers looking to make the round of 16, and they need to secure a victory over Stade Francais to make it easy going and qualify for the last 16. In case you missed it, the Cheetahs just coming up short in a game that was almost played to the 90th minute. So almost 10 minutes extra time there in that game. And in the last moment, the Cheetahs with 14 men were not able to hold on against Oyonnax, losing by 27 points to 26. And as a result, the Cheetahs, though, still have qualified, but heartbreak there for the Cheetahs in the Challenge Cup. And of course, we say thank you to Cal for taking us through that game. But you're live with me for the rest of this evening's Champions Cup fixtures, and that is the Stormers away to Stade Francais. Of course, Stade Francais at home in Paris at the Stade Jean Bouin Stadium. Luke Pierce is the referee this evening, and I want to, just before kickoff does get underway, take you through the 23 of each team, starting with Stade Francais. We've got Castettes, Segons, Ebo. I beg your pardon. It's Castettes, Perez Salanques, Gomez Cordella, Gabriel Aguez, the captain, Azigo, Irigoyen, Timo, Habel Kafner, and Rory Cockett at 9, the South African. At 10, we have Jay Seconds, Ebo, Etienne, Ahmed, Dakuwaka, and Monin at fullback. 16 to 23, of course, Ivaldi, Kakovin, Diaye, Briate, Makalu, Gimber, Alafonua, and Barre at 23 for Stade Francais. Of course, they're the home team. So the Stormers are up against it in the Champions Cup this evening. And I'm going to take you through the 23 of the Stormers, starting with Sitole at 1, Dweba, Fouché, Smith, Ruan van Heerden, Dion Fourie, the World Cup winner, evergreen, ageless, as they would say, the captain, Willie Engelbrecht, Morabe at 8, and then, of course, 9 to 15, Herschel Junkies, Libok, Ben Loader, Damien Willemse, Dan Duplessis, Angela Davids, and a welcome return for Warwick Gallant. 16 to 23 is Andre Hugo Venter, Blosse, Brock Harris, playing his 7,000th game, it seems, in the professional era of rugby. Wonderful to see him out on the bench this evening. Stessen at 19, Jason Benson Dixon, should I say, beg your pardon. Havachinka Daimani really coming to his own at 8th man, but he is featuring off the bench, so look out for him come second half. Stefan Unger at 23, 22, and Suleiman Hartzenberg at 23. We're almost underway, and for Dobson, the captain, or the coach, should I say, it's a must-win for the Stormers, but they're up against it here this evening in Paris. It is a away game. And for the South African sides in the Champions Cup, we saw earlier on the Bulls almost being their own worst enemies, one could say, coming away with a victory over Bordeaux by 46 points to 40 after being in a comfortable lead at one stage. The Bulls almost made it difficult for themselves, but pulled through, and as a result have obviously qualified for the round of 16. They will wait to see tomorrow's game, of course, between Saracens and Lyon to find out if they'll have any home ground advantage. But all our eyes and attention turn to the Stormers this evening because they would want to grab a victory as well and make it 2 out of 2 for the South African sides in Europe's premier competition, that is the Champions Cup this evening. The conditions look pretty good for some running rugby, so look out for the Liboks, look out for the Damien Willemses, but of course, everything needs to be done up front first. So it's that pack of forwards for the Stormers that really need to pull through come scrum time And who better to lead them than the World Cup winner, Deon Currie, of course, as I mentioned. Doesn't seem to age, just seems to be getting better. And that call up to the national side has done him a world of good. Still maintaining that form, still bringing that experience to the Stormers side. But STADE Francais are not going to be any pushover this evening. As I mentioned, the referee is Luke Pierce, very experienced, of course, to manage this game. And we want consistent decisions. And in my opinion, he's definitely the man at the forefront of this to be giving us that consistency that we're looking for. So do give us a shout out on the comment section what you think the score prediction is going to be. If you are a Stormers fan, put down your score predictions. And of course, a special shout out to BOYLESPORTS and BITDEFENDER, the supporting partners of the Forever Sports channel. Give your score predictions, guys. Tell us from where in the world you're watching this game. It's going to be a cracker. It's the Champions Cup, Investec Champions Cup rugby. Yeah, this evening kickoff is just about underway. STADE Francais will be playing from right to left, and they'll be kicking off to the Stormers. So the Stormers have the receiving part first up. Yeah, this evening the crowd are locked in. They support the home crowd, and we are underway at the Stade Jean-Bouin Stadium in Paris. And immediately, STADE Francais go deep. The referee playing advantage. There was a slight fumble there. STADE Francais did regather the kickoff. But nonetheless, the Stormers inside their 22 on this right-hand touchline, about 10 meters in from the touchline. And Herschel Junkies has put it up in the air. The referee says advantage over. The ball is loose. And the Stormers do, in fact, come away with it. And Damien Willemse pumps it upfield. And he asked STADE Francais to play, but they put it high with an up and under now underneath it for the Stormers there. Angela Davids, of course, at right wing, but away comes STADE Francais. It's a loose ball. It's a try. Would you believe it? Just like that, within a minute. I didn't have a chance to catch my breath. And it's Timo, the number 7, Andy Timo for STADE Francais, and immediately they make a statement here. It was Warwick Holland, I beg your pardon, not Angela Davids. He tried to place the ball, but the ball security on the ground wasn't good. And STADE Francais pounced immediately via their loose forward, Andy Timo, and they have the first try. Well, that set the tone for the rest of the game. We're just over a minute and a half in, folks. Nervy moments if you're a Stormer or South African fan, of course. Even if you're not supporting the Stormers this evening, you would be shouting for the Stormers over this French team. But the conversion now to come via Segons. Shapes to kick. He's kicked it well, but it's just going to shave the right hand upright. It's an unconverted try, but immediately there we see at the breakdown, STADE Francais coming in strong, all over it. The Stormers not able to present the ball clearly. And Andy Timo, with a lovely set of feet on him, gets away off the mark and scores the first try. Libok, with the restart, goes towards this left-hand touchline. Inside the 22, the Stormers surely have had a wake-up call now. And away with it comes Habel Kufner, breaking away a tackle and presenting the ball well. The scrum off, Rory Cockett at the base. Shapes to kick, and he forces the kick deep to Warwick Holland. The Stormers must play, but it's a loose ball. And again, nervy moments here, but cleaned up there by Damien Willemse. Having a calm head there to take the ball into contact. Goes to ground, and the referee, fortunately for the Stormers, blows a penalty, should I say. Not releasing the tackled player. and playing the ball on the ground. So the Stormers do have a penalty kick via Libok on their own 10-meter mark now and have the first real opportunity. It started frenetically here this evening. Libok puts it into touch. In fact, it's another unforced error from the Stormers. He doesn't find touch there. It looked for a moment that he was going to find the touchline. Stade Francais returned the kick. And all of a sudden, net gain for Stade Francais. Libok having a conversation with himself. He must be disappointed. Get the basics right, of course. But a wonderful kick there, finding the blade of grass inside the field of play. And the Stormers, all of a sudden, after having a penalty on their own 10-meter mark, have gone about 10, 15 meters back. They're just outside their 22 via Joseph Dweba on this right-hand touchline. Jankies. Herschel Jankies, that's, of course, the scrum off. And it's Morabe who comes away with it. They've made some ground. Almost up to their own 10-meter mark, the Stormers. Not looking to play from here, I'm sure. It's going to be Herschel Jankies who shapes to kick. The chase has got to be good. They've got to put pressure here. The Stormers letting the momentum of this game slip in favor of Stade Francais. You don't want that to be consistent if you want to go out and win a game away from home, which is already difficult as it is. But the Stormers just over halfway now in possession. They have to find some territory. It's grab it ahead. Up, right up against this left-hand touchline. 3 Stormers players. It's gathered from the fullback, Monin there. But 3 Stormers players all over him there on this left-hand touchline on the 22. So it will be a Stormers throw. There's a little bit more urgency from the Stormers there. I thought initially the grabber wasn't the right decision, but they just need to find a little bit of more territory to attack from, and this is the opportunity now for Joseph Dweba. Again, who doesn't find his man. The unforced errors racking up there. The Stormers have got to keep to the basics and get it right. The ball is hoofed upfield. And Stade Francais, in this first 6 minutes, have really made a statement to say that they've come to play. We're just inside the 10-meter mark of Stormers territory on this right-hand touchline. But they've got to get the lineouts functioning and functioning efficiently. Dweba again to feed. So far, so good for Stade Francais. Not if you're a South African fan. But Herschel Jankies now to Libok, who puts it high. The chase is good. The weight of the kick is good. It's wonderfully gathered there from Damian Willemse. We're on the 10-meter mark and over the 10-meter mark of Stade Francais. Ball security good for the Stormers here. Libok goes in. At scrum off to feed. And Jankies is back on his feet. The Stormers looking to play out wide on this right-hand touchline. But advantage, says the referee. Knocked on in the process there. It looks like it was Ben Loader who couldn't hold on to the ball. So the Stormers stuck for the moment, being their own worst enemies, doing some good things. As we see that wonderful regather from Damian Willemse from an up and under by Libok. But this will be the first scrum of the game. And as I mentioned, the engine room is where it all starts. The Stormers heavily favoured in terms of weight. Almost 10 kilos a man heavier than the Stade Francais pack, but it's all about technicality. It's Sitole, Dweba and Fouché who've got to make a statement here for the Stormers. Put pressure on the Stade Francais scrum. And Rory Cocker to feed the Stormers, pushing through and getting a scrum penalty. Just what I asked for. And if you're a Stormers fan, there is some reprieve for the moment because they can build on that scrum dominance if they can keep it consistent. Not having much in their favour in this first 9 minutes of this clash, but there is a welcome sign for the Stormers as they put the ball deep into the Stade Francais 22 on this right-hand touchline via Mani Libok. Shout out to Anthony Blankenberg, Fishhook, Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you for tuning in, brother. It's always a journey with the fans. It's always a pleasure to bring you the game. And the Stormers are just 5 meters out. This time, they do find Ruan van Heerden in the middle of the line-out. Advantage as the referee. Jenkins makes a break for it. Down the blind side on this right-hand touchline. And he scores a try. You beautiful Scrubby. Go, boy, go. Try time for the Stormers. The line-out was functioning well this time around. In the middle, it looked like they were going to go for a maul. The referee playing advantage and breaking behind. Perhaps turn the tide. And the Stormers are in. And the scores are level at 5 apiece. Mani Libok with the opportunity now. To put the extra 2 points over. But the Stormers are in for their first try. Libok from this right-hand touchline. Shapes to kick. Struck it well. It's sailing. It's sailing. But it's wide. So 2 unconverted tries, 1 apiece. 1 to Stade Francais. Early on, it was just about a minute into this game. But the scores are level at 5 apiece. So we can breathe for the moment as South African fans. Stade Francais kick off and regather the kickoff. The Stormers a little bit lackluster in regathering the kickoff there. Stade Francais are not going to rest on their laurels, but for the moment are in possession inside the Stormers territory over that Stormers 10-meter mark, center field, using their big forwards, or their tight forward, should I say. The referee playing under advantage to Stade Francais, so it's a free play here. Nothing comes of it for the moment. The scores are 5 apiece. Penalty advantage, and immediately the fly-off of Stade Francais has indicated that he will go for posts. Seconds, should I say. The fly-off indicating to Luke Pearce that he'll take the attempt at the 3. So the Stormers undoing their wonderful work early on by perhaps having to concede 3 points here. The fly-off shapes to kick. It's sailing, and it's over. That's 3 points in favour of Stade Francais. They take the lead by 8 points to 5. Take them however you're going to take them this evening, I'm sure. For the Stormers, it doesn't matter about bonus points. They just want to be 1 point ahead after the 80th minute. Shout out, Richard. Cummings,burg in Namakwaland. What's your score prediction, my brother? Albert van Lingen says Gelant always makes weird mistakes from nowhere. Perhaps sometimes not cool, calm, and collective, the fullback. So I hear you, brother. But what a wonderful mercurial fullback he is nonetheless, the Springbok. As we're underway again, Stade Francais kick it back to the Stormers after the restart, and the Stormers in possession over halfway, playing from left to right, just about centre field, over the halfway line. Advantage, says the referee. So he's not going to be afraid to blow the whistle. Luke Pierce, should he have to, nothing comes of it. They're going to come back for the penalty. Are we going to see a seesaw battle here in the Investec Champions Cup? We saw Neethling Forshey take it in there. The player who tackled him not rolling away. The referee, should I say, clear in his instructions. Saying you've got to make more of an effort, son. Get out of there. In the Stormers, Libbok, we know, can sometimes have that ball on a remote control when it comes to finding touch. There's been, of course, some talk over the while pre-World Cup, during the World Cup, post-World Cup, about his goal kicking. But who can forget that 80th minute kick that he put over against La Rochelle to win the game for the Stormers? So as much as we can mention the bad, we got to also remember the good of Manie Libbok. And this time he finds touch. Again, just about 5 meters out on this left-hand touchline. Joseph Dweba to the front. It looks like it's going to be a maul, a power maul from the Stormers here. Advantage, says the referee. The Stormers breaking away. 1 meter out now. Is this it? Is there an opportunity here to play the free play? Yes, there is. Because it's a try. The Stormers are in for try number 2. And it's Ruan van Heerden, the lock forward, hearing the call from the referee that there is advantage, saying, I want to get stuck in here. And that's exactly what he did, stretching his long frame over the try line. And the Stormers take back the lead. Or should I say lead for the very first time in this game. Going up by 10 points to 8 with that second try. Shout out to Crossboarding from Pretoria. I'm sure you must be happy about the Bulls this afternoon. A nervy finish to that game, of course. But the boot of Jaco van der Walt there with those 2 late penalties being the difference there at 46-40. But for the moment, the Stormers have an opportunity. We're not even up. We're almost up to the end of the first quarter of this game. And the Stormers lead for the first time away from home. Manie Libbok with the opportunity here to add the extra 2 and force Stade Francais to score a try to take the lead. A little bit of confusion here. The referee not allowing Libbok to take the kick, saying he took too long. That's an odd one. You don't see that often. But Manie Libbok, known to take almost pretty much the full 60 seconds. And the referee are judging there, your time is up. And he didn't have an opportunity to kick. That's a bit of a weird one. The Stormers, though, lead by 10 points to 8. As Stade Francais kick off again and get possession. They shifted wide down this left-hand touchline. But they can't find space because they found the touchline. The assistant referee's flag is up. But what a weird attempted conversion there, running out of time. And again, that's not something you see every day. But you got to have your awareness. And the referee there penalizing Moni Libok by not allowing him or cancelling out the conversion attempt. I'm sure that will be talked about for a while. But for the moment, the Stormers just outside their 22 via Joseph Dweba, who finds his man. So fortunately for the Stormers, nothing came of that attempted breakaway down this left-hand touchline, forced into touch. And the Stormers via Herschel Junkies will now shape to kick. It's a dummy to Libok. Finding Duplessis, who looks to come back to the traffic here. The ball security good for the Stormers though. Herschel Junkies with the up and under from the base. The referee says penalty. Stade Francais offside at that ruck, not behind the last man's feet. So we can't give Moni Libok too much grief this evening. Although he didn't take the extra two potentially, or wasn't allowed to because of his mistiming, his touch finding, his kicks for touch has been impeccable. And the Stormers get a penalty there. Over eager, says Luke Pierce. And the Stormers will have another opportunity inside Stade Francais' half to build something here via Joseph Dweba. The line-out functioning a little bit better. The Stormers break away 10 meters out center field. Playing down this right-hand side. Loader bumping off one, but in the process not holding on to the ball. Or the referee says it was a forward pass. It looked like he fumbled there, but he held on to it. The ball just went slightly forward, says the referee. But a little lovely break center field there from the Stormers, playing down towards this right-hand touchline, but unfortunately not able to hold on to the ball, or not able to be accurate in the pass, should I say. As we go into the second quarter, the second half of this first half, Stade Francais already in that first scrum got a clear indication that the Stormers technically are sound and in sync when it comes to scrum time. Can the Stormers put some pressure here? It's a massive shove from the Stormers. It's a turnover at scrum time. That's sensational stuff from the front row and the 8 pack of forwards from the Stormers. And somehow Stade Francais managed to get the ball back. But some ominous signs at scrum time. They want to stay away from that area of the field because the Stormers are manhandling them as Libok tries to find some space on this left-hand touchline. Stade Francais return the ball. The Stormers inside their own half. Duplessis again. Play is held up for the moment. Looks like another forward pass there to Ben Loader. Or knocked forward from the hands of Duplessis. The pass was good from Libok. He just took his eyes off it for the moment. But what a massive scrum from the Stormers there. Showing that up front they have what it takes to get a victory here. They just got to cut down on the unforced errors, in my opinion. Richard says difficult to make a prediction. So my heart says 21-18 for the Stormers, but I think Stade might be the winners. Time will tell. Richard, I'll chime in there and say I just about want to agree with you. It looks like it's going to be a close affair. who can stay focused, who can keep the momentum in their favour for as long as possible as Stade Francais. Scrum time, they get it in and out, and they're in possession. 10 metres in from this left-hand touchline, working their way up to the Stormers 22. They play the blind again, but a wonderful ankle tackle there from Damian Willemse. Technically sound in his defence. Damian Willemse, of course, the World Cup winner. The Stormers not committing too many to the breakdown. They know the threat that Stade Francais can bring. And for the moment, no meters gained. We're not inside the Stormers 22 yet, but we can see the 22 and Stade Francais wrestling their way. And there's a turnover ball. Over eager to play Stade Francais. But the Stormers all over it there, and it looks like it was the captain, Dion Currie, and the French players of Stade Francais, or this French side, don't take kindly to that. There's a little bit of argy-bargy. The referee comes in, the assistant referee's there to lend a helping hand. But of course, this is not UFC. This is Champions Cup rugby. The UFC we leave for tomorrow morning, of course. Dricus still knocks du Plessis. Will be live in action for the heavyweight or middleweight, should I say, championship bout of the world, putting South Africa on the map with a real opportunity to show that South Africans, we fight through adversity, not only in the game of rugby, but of course in the UFC as well. And some exciting news from the president of UFC, Dana White, has said if Dricus du Plessis can walk away with the belt tomorrow morning, there will definitely be a UFC event in South Africa. So good times there. We look forward to that live as well on Forever Sports. But for the moment, it's Investec Champions Cup Rugby, and the referee, through consultation with the assistant referee, has overturned it, and it's a Stade Francais penalty. They put it out into touch, 10 metres out on this left-hand touchline. Tight up against the touchline now. The referee playing under advantage for Stade Francais. So we thought there was some wonderful work done by Dion Currie. But the referee are judging illegally so, through the consultation, of course, from the assistant referee, who seems to have had an influence big time in the turnover decision. And this is where we find ourselves, 5 metres out from the Stormers' try line. So just like that, things can change here. The referee, Luke Pierce, not shy, as we see this evening, to blow his whistle. Judging there, the Stormers defender not releasing the tackled player. And immediately Stade Francais decide they're going to put into touch. No, it's a trick play. It's a tap and go for Stade Francais. The Stormers almost caught napping with 2 metres out. They're playing down the blind on this left-hand side. Here's another opportunity. Here's a try. Stade Francais giving almost the impression that they were going to go for the touch kick and perhaps maul it up, but then at the last split second, played a trick play and went with the tap and go. And it's Lester Etienne, the inside centre, who finishes off. Lovely little offload, soft hands, running straight the inside centre. And again, Stade Francais take back the lead that they got so early on in this game. It's 13 points to 10. We're approaching the half-hour mark. The Stormers have got to stay focused here. Joris Segons, the fly-off, with the opportunity to add the extra 2 and take it 5 points clear Shapes to kick. Doesn't waste any time. It's sailing and over. It's 15 points to 10. And Stade Francais, just like that, show us that you're not just going to beat us at home. They did a number on the Stormers there. Took the tap and go. Were brave enough, and as a result have come away with the 7 points. The kickoff from Libok is contestable, but via a strong turnover there, or counter-ruck from Stade Francais. The Stormers looking to try and regather the ball, and in the process, should I say, have knocked it on. Scrum down, advantage to Stade Francais. I'm not sure they're enjoying scrum time though, but we're on the 10-meter mark, or just off the 10-meter mark, inside the Stormers' territory, centre field here, and it's a scrum down to Stade Francais there. At ruck time, they've been a little bit more efficient, counter-rucking strongly there. And the Stormers, unfortunately, fumbling the ball, not getting it out quick enough. Shout out to Anthony Blankenberg, who says 38-22 in favour of the Stormers. That's the positive spirit we want, brother. It's not going to be easy. The Stormers have done a few good things, but they find themselves on the wrong end of the field. Wonderful defence there from Herschel Jankies, trying to interrupt the 8th man there. But Stade Francais come away with possession. It's secure at the base. Rory Cockett feeds one of his tight forwards. We've gone back a few metres, so we're on halfway centre field, playing towards this left-hand touchline as Segons puts it high under the night sky here. And it's gone straight into touch. So for the first time, we see an unforced error there from Stade Francais. Some wonderful pressure from the scrum half. We saw him score a wonderful try early on down the blind side on the right-hand touchline. Staying focused on defence there, putting the world of pressure on the 8th man, Abel Kufner. And the Stormers now inside on the 10-meter mark of Stade Francais territory on this left-hand touchline. Fouché feeds Dweber. Keke Morabe comes away with it, the 8th man. It's post-contact meters here for the Stormers. It's going to be a penalty, says the referee. Infringement there at line-out time. We're on the 15-meter mark. On the 10-meter mark. Inside Stade Francais territory here. The Stormers still trailing 10 points to 15. Libok will look to find touch. Just about out of his range. We haven't seen the likes of Willemse coming to attacking play yet, but we know how capable he is. They've just got to set it up better up front, keep the basics right. And as we see the lineouts functioning a bit better for the Stormers, so confident to take the kick to touch. We're again 5 meters out, so Libok kicking well off the boot into touch. Dweber again goes to the front. Ruan van Heerden, who's got a try of his own. Guiding that maul there. It's at the back for Joseph Dweber. Advantage, says the referee. Stade Francais can't deal with the Stormers maul at the moment. Dion Ferry. Van Heerden again. We're 2 meters out. Just about 5 meters in from this left-hand touchline. Is there an opportunity? Held up, says the referee. So the Stormers showing that when they get to that area of the field, as we call it, the danger zone, can put real pressure on Stade Francais. But just in the last moment, they're held up. Not able to ground the ball there. But they're coming back for the penalty. They were playing under advantage. Unfortunate there for the Stormers. It's going to be a 5-meter scrum. In fact, there was no penalty advantage. It's a 5-meter scrum to the attacking side. So when the ball is held up, the attacking side will get the feed via Herschel Junkies now. Ten meters in from this left-hand touchline via Herschel Junkies. The Stormers pumping the legs at scrum time here. Advantage, says the referee. Is there an opportunity? Just not able to go to hand there. It was the right winger there, Angela Davids, looking to be on the receiving end on this blind side after the Stormers pack of forwards put the universe of pressure on the Stade Francais pack. But they're coming back. This time it is a penalty advantage. Be interesting to see if the Stormers do in fact decide to go for a scrum as a means of attack here. They've been clearly dominant, but just not able to go to hand there to Angela Davids. We know he's got the quick feet, he's got the pace. And the Stormers have, in fact, indicated for a scrum. We're just about almost 12 meters in now, so they've just gone a little bit more infield, opened up the blind a little bit more. Will we see the Stormers pack? And last, have we seen something like that in Champions Cup rugby? Here they go, the Stormers. They need to secure the ball. Here's an opportunity. Surely, somehow, Keke Marabe was manhandled there and brought back. And on the last moment, the feed to Joseph Dweber. Couldn't find his hands, were too slippery for the ball. It's gone forward. And the Stormers, the cause of their own demise there. Dion Ferry breaking away. Marabe saw the try line ahead of him, but the defender brought him backwards. Immense strength there from the Stade Francais defense. The Stormers will rue that missed opportunity, but all is not lost. They still, although they've knocked it on, will be able to put pressure here. Rory Cockett having a word with his forward saying, guys, I'm going to put this in and it's got to come out as soon as possible. These guys have been eating their spinach all week. Each one of those Stormers 8 seem to be Popeye at the moment when it comes to scrum time. How can that translate to the rest of the game? And there it is. Quick in and out from number 8 pickup. Habel Kafna, so Stade Francais do breathe for the moment, and Rory Cockett sends it downfield but doesn't find touch on this left-hand touchline. Warwick Hunt. They're playing from left to right here. Somebody's got to straighten. We're almost up to this right-hand touchline now. And it's Ben Loader who was smashed in the tackle. Just waiting to see if it went forward there. He lost possession. Whether it will be a scrum or a line-out. Killing off his space a little bit, Ben Loader. No one making a switch inside. backing himself on the outside, but as a result, getting smashed. And it is a line out. It didn't go forward, but the ball did go into touch. We're 10 meters out from the try line of Stade Francais, who still lead by 15 points to 10 here. Rory Cockett looking to find his fly off, I'm sure. Or will he shape to kick from the base now? The security of the ball is good. Cockett's going to go himself. We know he's got a prodigious boot. Spent years at the Sharks here in South Africa. The South African was a reliable goal kicker, of course. We see the likes of Sonele Nahamba at the Lions, who also play scrum off, but also very, very reliable when it comes to goal kicking. We saw Sonele Nahamba win the game for the Lions, should I say, over the Sharks in the URC a couple of weeks back with that conversion. So scrum halves out there showing they can do it all. It's a line-out ball, and it's Stade Francais who get the ball. So for the first time in a while, the Storm is not able to collect their own line-out ball. They're going to have to fix that. Come second half, Warwick Holland gets the kick. Puts in a good shift down this left-hand touchline. It stays in field. It's an up and under. Who wants it? Stade Francais want it. There's an opportunity here. It's grab it ahead. It's the outside centre. Put the ball to boot, should I say, down this left-hand side. The ball bouncing everywhere. Dan du Plessis and Warwick Holland sorting him out that he can't regather, putting enough pressure. But as a result, have conceded a scrum. No, it's not a scrum to Stade Francais. It was lost forward by the outside centre. So just enough pressure from Holland and Dan du Plessis there gives the Stormers an opportunity as we hit the red on the 40-minute mark here in the first half. But what an exciting game it's been. Up to now, the Stormers trailing by 10-15. And I'm sure Herschel Junkies will look to feed Lebach. Will put it into touch. They'll regather at half-time. And they know that second half, when the likes of Havachika Daimani comes on, Ben Jason Dixon comes on, that perhaps the pendulum can swing in their favour. The Stormers with a massive scrum. It is Herschel Junkies who puts it into touch. That's a wrap for the first half, folks. Stay tuned. The Stormers trail 10-15 against Stade Francais. The Stormers, of course, away from home. Get your refreshments. We'll be back for the second half. Until then, bye for now. Hello and welcome back to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. The teams are just about on the field and ready to kick off the second half. The Stormers, of course, will be playing from right to left, and they'll be kicking off the second half, knowing that they have it all to do, trailing by 10 points to 15 here at the Stade Jean-Bouin Stadium in Paris. 2 quarters left in this game, and it'll be interesting to see how the impact of the bench for the Stormers, if it does play a factor. The likes of Avichinka Daimani, as we mentioned, very much in the talk for a Springbok selection come the June test this year, as Libok gets us underway in the second half. Stade Francais do get possession just outside the 22, 15 meters in from this right-hand touchline. Rory Cockett shaping to kick again from the base as he goes for a kick down this blind side on this right-hand side. The Stormers lose possession in the 50-50 contest, and all of a sudden they concede a penalty. Luke Pierce there judging the Stormers infringing there at Stade Francais in the blink of an eye or up to the Stormers 10-meter mark. It was Herschel Jantjies who managed to rip the ball, but in the process found himself tackled on the ground and holding on. And Stade Francais put the ball into touch on this right-hand side. Happy Brew, shout out my brother, you say the ref is useless. If you're a Stormers or South African fan, I do say that he hasn't been afraid to blow his whistle this evening. And some of the calls have not gone in favor of the Stormers, but they control their own destiny. And they trail for the moment as Stade Francais win the line out centre field. We're almost at, as the tight forwards look to break around the ruck and make some meters, but the Stormers' defence resolute for the moment. Almost up to the 22 here. Playing from right to left. Stade Francais, Rory Cockett. Stade Francais for the moment, not making any meters. The Stormers, tough on defence, not committing at the breakdown. So having the numbers to fan out on defence. Trying to wrestle for the ball there. But Stade Francais still keep possession. Working their way towards this left-hand side. Here come Stade Francais now with the chip ahead. It's regathered from Mani Libok, who covered well. Just managing to find himself. Not carrying the ball back into his own try line there. The Stormers somehow have possession with just about a half a meter. The ball is loose. What is this? The referee is going to have a check with his assistant and perhaps the TMO. But it seemed a little bit rushed from the Stormers there. About a half a meter from their own try line. They look to have secured possession at ruck time. But it all got a bit frenetic and pouncing on the loose ball there. We wait to see who it was from Stade Francais. But the ball just popping out. It looked like it was the number 6 who put a hand on Herschel Jantjies there, or on his arm. Irigoyen, the number 6 of Stade Francais. What will the TMO judge here? Potentially, it could be another early 5-pointer for Stade Francais. The Stormers player over the ball, they're looking to ground it in his in-goal area. It will be up to the TMO, of course, from the advice of the referee, Luke Pearce, to a judge if he did in fact ground it clearly, or did the Stade Francais player following up manage to put the ball down. The captain of the Stormers, Dion Currie, close in with the referees here. They're having a conversation, and it's going to be a goal line dropout. So a sigh of relief if you're a South African fan. For once, happy brew. Luke Pearce has made the right decision. And the Stormers will have a goal line dropout via Manie Libbok here. So fortunate not to concede an early try, as they did in the first half. In that first minute, the Stormers breathe for the moment via the boot of Manie Libbok. Yes, a drop goal attempt from the Stade Francais player. It's wide, it's short, and the Stormers will play and kick for touch right up to halfway. So from the goal line clearance, there was an attempt for a drop goal there. From the fly-off of Stade Francais, didn't connect it properly, and as a result, the Stormers kicked to touch, and they're almost up to halfway on this left-hand touchline, but they do concede possession for the moment. Critical times here for the Stormers. They managed to duck that one, but Stade Francais in possession and immediately play wide. They're finding some wonderful meters down this right-hand touchline. It's the left winger, Ebo, who goes to ground. They present the ball nicely. Rory Cockett is there, looking to play this right-hand blind side again. Lovely little feet there. Beats one defender. The outside centre, Ahmed. The Stormers must try and keep their shape on defence. Stay on side as they play centre field now. Into the 22 goes Stade Francais. Lovely ball over the top to Ebo again. He's got the jinxing feet. This time around, advantage, says the referee. They're 5 meters away now. Relentless at ruck time. Quick ball. The tight forwards looking to work together around the fringes. Is this a try? For Stade Francais, it looks like the lock forward as a go. Who won the line out earlier from their clearance. And immediately from there, Stade Francais played it wide, kept the foot on the pedal. Hiragoyen took it up, playing under advantage, and it's the lock forward who scores the try for Stade Francais. This time around, the Stormers can't hold out. It's at 20 points to 10 in favour of Stade Francais. The Stormers have it all to do. Matthew Hiragoyen, in fact, the number 6, not the lock forward. But Stade Francais hit 20 points with an opportunity here for an extra 2 via the boot of Segons. Right up against this right-hand touchline, about 35 meters out within his range. Can he find his kicking compass? Seconds, shapes to kick, but it's shaving, always aiming past this left hand upright. He can't convert. But an early blow here in the second half for Stade Francais, and the Stormers trailed by more than 2 scores. They need to put their foot to the gas here now. cut out the unforced errors and play in the right areas of the field as they kick deep via Lebok. Stade Francais regather the kickoff. It's outside the 22, so Rory Cockett does not have the safety of the touchline. The chasers have been good all evening. This time around, he dummies around the fringe. But the Stormers away on defense. As Segons puts it deep now or inside the Stormers 22, and Warwick Galant puts an aimless kick ahead, gifting the ball back. But this time around, the Stormers from a chip ahead from Stade Francais via Ben Loader have an opportunity to play blind here. Here's an opportunity for Willemse. We've seen precious little of him. Almost up to halfway, the Stormers 15 meters in from this left-hand touchline. On halfway, Jankies, Lebok. Can they find some space here? Duplessis into the half of Stade Francais they go. No advantage, says the referee. Offside at ruck time for Stade Francais. So the Stormers again have an opportunity to the prodigious boot of Lebok to get some valuable areas of the field. They can't be conceding again anytime soon. Stade Francais time off for the moment. As we see one of the Stade Francais players down. The Stormers still 10. Stade Francais 20. It's just about on halfway. Lebok 15 meters in from this left-hand touchline again. Finds a wonderful touch. We're about 15 meters out from the try line on this left-hand touchline of Stade Francais with Dweber to feed. Can the Stormers be the next to score? That's the question. From wherever you're watching in the world, do give us an indication where you're watching, from where you're watching, and what's your score prediction for this game. Can the Stormers turn it around here? There's an ebb and flow to this game. The Stormers dominating at scrum time. Seem to have got their line out functioning pretty well. But just also not putting too many phases together in the right areas of the field. They're looking to change that now as we hit the 50-minute mark. We're inside the 22, about 16, 17 meters out. Dweber to feed the line out. Finds Ruan van Heerden at the front. It's a safe banker ball. But they've gone back a little bit, the Stormers. They need to hit hard up front. And that's exactly what they do. Jankies to Setole. The loose head. Stade Francais for the moment making a nuisance of themselves. Morabe, the 8th man. Looking to gain some meters, but the ball is ripped away. Stade Francais now in possession. Is there an opportunity on this right-hand side? The Stormers gifting possession back, not securing the ball in the tackle. Instead, Francais work themselves up to their own 10-meter mark. But more importantly, keep the Stormers away from that try line of theirs. Cockett with the up and under. The chase is good. But Warwick Galant is safe under the ball. And this time around we see Angela Davids come away with it. Here's an opportunity now for the Stormers. They're inside on the 10-meter mark. Play on, says the referee. No one's securing that ball at the breakdown. And this is going to be a run-in for Stade Francais. It's all getting away from the Stormers for the moment. The ball wasn't secure at the feet of the ruck. Giovanni Abel-Kafner comes away with it. Quick thinking behind the last man feet. says Luke Pierce. If you get the sense of it, you might imagine that's a debatable decision. But the referee waving play on, you got to play to the whistle. And Dan du Plessis not able to haul in the big eighth man, showing that he's got a pair of wheels on him. And the Stormers now have a mountain of work to do, trailing by 25 points to 10 with the kick to come. Time is off for the moment. I'm not sure if they're checking it. Yes, they are. Hold on, folks. Are we in for something here? If you're a Stormers fan, you'll be desperate that this try is overturned and the score stays at 20-10. There was a play offside, it seems. Did he have any effect on the game? That is what the TMO will decide. He's decided. The Stormers breathe again for the moment. No try, says the referee. The captain, Gabriel, asking the referee to clarify himself. And the try is overturned. There was a player lying on the wrong side who was adjudged to have an impact on the game. And the Stormers get a penalty. What a turn of events here. It's all happening in Paris. The Stormers have to make something of this, though. Lebok 15 meters in on this right-hand touchline on Stade Francais 10-meter mark. Finds touch about 13, 14 meters out. The Stormers in the right area of the field. And a whole host of replacements coming on. Over Chinka Damani. Stassen coming on. Blosse coming on. All at the drop of a hat here. Andre Fente on the field. So we see the likes of Willie Engelbrecht leaving the field. Joseph Dweba and Steve Sitole. So the Stormers looking to inject something into this game, some fresh legs, some new ideas as they hit the middle ball for this line out. There's a blindside opportunity on this right-hand side. But it's been closed off for the moment. It's Herschel Junkies to Dan du Plessis, who goes wrestling his way through. But as a result, gets the ball wrestled away from him. And again, we see ball security. In contact, a slight issue for the Stormers. Ripped away. Smart play there from the defense of Stade Francais. And Cockett inside his own 22 with the safety of the touchline. Can find touch. He doesn't make a lot of ground, so the Stormers can attack again. But it's just that moment in contact there from Dan du Plessis. Having the ball ripped away. So some smart defense. The Stormers have a lot to think about here. Just outside the 22, Andre Fente to feed. It's back of the ball line out to Daimoni. He has an opportunity, a real one for the Stormers, but it's gone loose. The Stormers don't seem to be able to hold on to the pull there. And under advantage is Rory Cockett. Outside his 22, they can't kick it into touch. They kick it straight down the throat of Warwick Gallant, who puts a little chip in. Gallant. There's the attacking play we want to see from the fullback. Can they build on this? The Stormers, Daimoni. It's forward ball from the replacement, number 8. The Stormers up to the 22, just about. Playing from left to right with centre field here. Libok fumbles, almost fumbles the ball, but manages to regather. And they need a real injection now, the Stormers. Surely that's got to be an advantage. What does the referee say there? There was a player of Stade Francais laying on the ground. Unintentional, says the referee. It's going to be a scrum down. Most referees would have given that a penalty, as in my opinion, he had an influence on that. But we see the likes of Watchalong stretching the legs. He has the rugby IQ to do so. But perhaps the Stormers should have held on to the ball there. It was offloaded in contact. If it's a 50-50 ball at this level, you want to hold on to the ball, secure a little bit more phases. Johan Smith says the Stormers are asleep. Brother, we're hoping that with that injection off the bench, that they can hit it up a gear. Still trailing by 10 points to 20 here. As we approach the end of the third quarter here in this game, this all-important game for the Stormers. Crucial that they win this game. A bonus point by scoring 4 tries, not vital. 1 point more than Stade Francais will be enough to send them into the round of 16 and make it 2 out of 2 for the South African sides in this Champions Cup. Scrum down, Stormers. We haven't seen many resets this evening. But as we know, Luke Pearce has not been shy to blow his whistle. Perhaps not in the favour of the Stormers all the time. But we're just outside the 22 of Stade Francais, about 20 metres in from this right-hand touchline. So there is a blind side to work with. Should they get some scrum time dominance, the Stormers? Good point. It's like the French don't want to learn English. But the Stormers again continuing where they left off. Playing under advantage now. Lebok. There's an opportunity here now. Loader. Strong in the tackle. They're at 10 metres out now. Daimani. He's breaking free. Havachinka Daimani. Taking the ball 3 metres out. We're 1 metre out. It's try time. Wonderful stuff from the Stormers. And it looks like Stessen is over the replacement. Lock forward. Henry Stessen taking it off Havachinka Daimani. But we can see what all the fuss is about. The replacement. Daimani there, wrestling his way through over the advantage line. Post-contact meters. Brilliant stuff. Using the fend. Stade Francais in 6s and 7s. And Henry Stessen scores the try and keeps the game alive for the Stormers. You can see what it means to the coaching staff. The Stormers are up to 15 points. The conversion, crucial now. Lebok needs to just up the tempo when it comes to taking his conversion. Little bit lackadaisical early on in the first half. But the Stormers crucially score a try and reduce the deficit here in Paris. With Lebok shaping, it's sailing, it's over. Make that a deficit of only 3. The Stormers are up to 17. We're in for something here this evening as we approach and enter just about the last quarter of this game. But Henry Stessen finding the whitewash of Stade Francais on their try line, and the Stormers are less than a score away from getting back into the lead, or at least drawing level, as Damien Willemse takes the restart. Junkies feeds Daimani. showing immediately the impact that he has off the bench. Crucial to the Stormers squad, of course, and perhaps later on in the year, crucial to the cause of the Springboks. But Junkies there, safe as ever, shaping to kick, having the safety of his own 22. Conceding possession, however, in this line-out play now to Stade Francais. Stade Francais hold on to a 3-point lead, a slender lead at that. And it's the replacement, Evaldi, who will put the ball into the line-out. Stay locked in, guys, if you're a South African rugby supporter. The Stormers still have a real opportunity here as they take the line-out ball away from Stade Francais. Is there a shift in momentum here? Kicking it upfield. Stade Francais in possession. And play on, says the referee. And away with it comes the Stormers. Just seem to have moved it up a notch, the Stormers now. Ruan van Heerden got a try to his name already this evening. We're up to the 10-meter mark, playing centre field. 10-meter mark off Stade Francais, the Stormers. Put the boot to ball. Ball to boot, I beg your pardon. And unfortunately lose the contest there. The ball bobbling into the hands of a Stade Francais player. But the Stormers playing more and more in the right areas of the field. And it seems the more desperate they're getting, the more opportunities they're having to play in the right areas of the field. As Libok looks to feed Willemse. Herschel Junkies to Nietlink Forshey. Up it goes into the night sky. Not enough distance on it there from Libok. The Stormers get it back via Willemse though. The pendulum might be swinging here in favor of the Stormers. Yes, an opportunity now. The Stormers are up inside the 22, keeping the ball alive. They change gears, surely. 16 meters out from the Stade Francais try line. It's Libok to Duplessis, who breaks clear steps. They're 5 meters out. They're making some wonderful meters here, the Stormers. Andre Juchofente, we know how strong he is in contact. Here go the Stormers. 3 meters out. Van Heerden, 1 meter out. Can they be stopped? He's over the line. What does the referee say? Surely. Is there an opportunity here for the Stormers to take the lead? Is this a decision for the TMO? Remember, you have an opportunity if you're brought to ground to put the ball over the line, but it's for the referee to adjudge whether it was any double movement. But just like that, the Stormers have kicked it up. They've gone to new heights in the second half, perhaps knowing they need to be desperate in order to win away from home. You're not just going to be gifted a game here in Paris. We know the French have a grudge against South Africa after that quarter-final victory in the World Cup. Can the Stormers feed off of that? Can they show the resolve? For the moment, though, it almost looks like a double movement, a triple movement, a quadruple movement from Van Heerden. In my opinion, perhaps that try will not, or the TMO will not rule a try here. But exciting stuff if you're a South African fan. No try, says the referee. It's going to be a scrum time. or scrum down over to the Stormers. Not quite sure how we got to that decision. So it is a Stormers put in 5 meters out from Stade Francais try line, 15 meters in from this left-hand touchline. While they look for a pushover try, we've seen the scrum time dominance clearly from the Stormers here in Paris. Can the Stormers fight back in this adverse times for the moment? And immediately, it is a penalty. Surely the referee's got to look to some yellow cards when we're 5 meters out. In my opinion, Luke Pearce has been excitable on the whistle. He's got to start getting excitable in his pocket if that sort of dominance continues from the Stormers at scrum time. But it is a penalty to the Stormers. We're 5 meters out. And as I thought, they're going to call for another scrum. It's all to play for here with 15 minutes left on the clock in Paris. As we see Andy Timo come off for Makalu for Stade Francais, so some fresh legs off the bench for them as well. We saw the Stormers putting on a whole host of substitutes on early in the second half. Stade Francais, however, opting for the 1-1, not making wholesale changes. A try, of course, for Andy Timo this evening, but the Stormers on the front foot here, 5 meters out, and still in the same place, 15 meters in from this left-hand touchline. Is there talk of a penalty try? Should this dominance continue from the Stormers? This is the engine room. This is where it's got to be done. And the Stormers doing the business at scrum time this evening, of course. They just want to do the business on the scoreboard as well. Herschel Junkies patiently waiting to feed. Looking for a synchronization from that pack of forwards. Showing that they're hungry for this. And immediately the Stormers again get another penalty at scrum time. And this is going to be a conversation from Luke Pearce to the captain of Stade Francais. And I think that was the last warning. The Stormers want to do pretty much of the same thing here. They got their tails up. They got the referee in their back pocket, knowing the referee can see what's going on here. Come on, says Johan Smuts. Come on, Stormers. For a South African team. And no matter who you support, Cheetahs, Sharks, Lions, Bulls or Stormers, we're rooting for the Stormers here this evening. The French don't love it, but we don't care. It's Herschel Junkies to feed the scrum 5 meters out. And that is going to be that. It's an immediate sack from the loose head, and he is going to be punished with a yellow card under all sorts of pressure. The replacement, Kakovin of Stade Francais, and the Stormers are going to go again, I'm sure, and that gives them a one-man advantage for the next 10 minutes. Big turnaround in this game, and we can put it down to the replacements coming off the bench, showing that you need a squad of 23 players to close off a game, and close off a game is what we're hoping here for the Stormers. Time off for the moment. Stade Francais still hold on to a slender 3-point lead at 20 points to 17. Of course, guys, don't forget, tomorrow morning we're live for UFC 297, the UFC Middleweight Championship of the World. Dricus still knocks Du Plessis, South Africa's own, putting the country on the map up against America's Sean Strickland, who is the champion. Dricus, of course, showing an unbeaten run in the UFC with a well-deserved title shot, putting aside Robert Whittaker in his last fight, earning him the shot against the champion Sean Strickland. And that'll be live on Forever Sports. I'll be taking you through that, of course. We know it's early in the morning. The main card, of course, starting at 5 a.m. But that fight, you're looking probably around 6:30 South African Standard Time. Of course, in the UFC, with fights, you can't always judge how long it's going to last. So my advice is get tuned in from 5 a.m. Get yourself excited for that exceptional clash. South Africa's own Dricus Du Plessis up against Sean Strickland in the all-important middleweight bout. Can he bring it home for South Africa and perhaps get the UFC to come to South Africa? Show the world what we're made of. We showed them in the Rugby World Cup what we're made of. And Dricus is just an extension of that. And the Stormers extending their dominance. It's another penalty. It's quite a long while ago. I saw so many penalties conceded at scrum time. But that's 4 in a row now. 5 meters out. And there's no doubt the Stormers are going to go again. They want to push over try. They want to rub it in the face of Stade Francais. Get into the lead here. It's clear their bench has come off and made a difference. It's clear their scrum has been absolutely dominant. Or as I say, simply sensational this evening. But it's got to translate into points. Herschel Jantjies again to feed. Here go the Stormers now. It's another advantage, says the referee. And it's going to be another card. They forced his hand. Would you believe it? 2 yellow cards in the same sequence of play at scrum time. It's all happening. We saw earlier on the likes of Libok getting his timing wrong with the conversion. Keep in mind you have 60 seconds to kick a conversion. So some interesting things happening in this Champions Cup game in Paris. But it's all pressure here. This time, the interesting things are happening for the Stormers. It's in their favor. And the referee close in with Deon Fourie, the captain of the Stormers, now having a conversation. It's 2 yellow cards. Stade Francais down to 13 men. And Luke Pierce has his hands full here. I'm sure he's itching to give them a penalty try should this continue. But we stayed in the same part of the field for the last 3-4 minutes. The Stormers dominant. The Stormers, as I mentioned, want to translate this into points as we see the likes of Stefan Ungerer and Brock Harris, who I mentioned, has probably played realistically over 400 games professionally, which is an incredible feat. The tight forward. Time off for the moment, so no replacements yet. Will Brock Harris be able to chime in here? I'm sure he knows all the tricks of the trade, but the assistant referees and the referee having a conversation. Stay close to your screen or to your boom box, whichever way you're listening in, guys. We're in for a cracker of a finish here in the Stormers game. A try would, of course, take them into the lead. I'm sure they're having a conversation regarding whether it will be contested or uncontested scrums. That will be a killer blow for the Stormers because they've been feeding off this dominance, but they need to put some points on the board to get into the lead. What's the decision from Luke Pearce? Stade Francais down. With that yellow card, of course. And it's some big discussions here, guys. You should know your rules by now. You're in the professional game. Everyone, for the moment, just stuck on their feet. The Stormers perhaps losing a little bit of momentum. And I think there's going to be a change in the front row. For Stade Francais, the tight head is coming back, which almost seems as if it's going to be contestable scrums. Gomez, Cordella. And here's a real opportunity with just over 10 minutes to play for the Stormers to take the lead and send themselves into the round of 16. If you're a South African rugby supporter, I'm sure you'd be glued to the screen. Of course, thank you to all the fans tuning in for this live watch along. It's a journey, and it's always exciting to be part of it with you guys. What are we without the fans? Absolutely nothing. But absolutely nothing is not what the Stormers need here. They need something. As they pack down to scrum, time back on. Herschel Junkies to feed. It's uncontested scrums. And here come the Stormers. Here's an opportunity out wide. Just couldn't hold on to the ball there. Warwick Galant. He had a man outside him on this right-hand touchline. But the momentum wasn't there because the scrums became uncontested after those yellow cards. And Angela Davids was free on this right-hand touchline. We know he's got the jet shoes to outpace his defender. But some silly hands there from Warwick Galant, it must be said. In fact, it looks like it's Suleiman Hartzenberg who was out there. As we see the likes of Netling Forshey and Herschel Junkies making way for Brock Harris and Stefan Ungera. The Stormers not able to capitalize on that dominance. We're in for a tight finish here, folks. Stade Francais for the moment, holding on to that lead for dear life. Happy Bruce says the ref finally saw there were 13 players on the field in the previous play. It was an interesting discussion they were having there, my brother. They seemed a little bit out of their depth for the moment. somewhat inexcusable, and the Stormers, in fact, just not able to capitalize their time off still. Just about 10 minutes. Can they utilize that one-man advantage nonetheless? Ron Mulligan says, dominate the scrum. You must win the game. Finish and claw. Brother, I agree with you. And it seems for all money, they're coming back to reset that scrum. So all sorts of drama happening here. You'd swear it's the bold and the beautiful. But Luke Pearce getting his bearings for the moment. And Angara this time, who came onto the field for Herschel Junkies, will have the feed to this scrum as they get to set 5 meters out from the try line. Luke Pearce does look a little bit lost, it must be said. Be an interesting topic of discussion around the braai. Not often you see that sort of thing in the game of rugby, but there's so many technicalities. But here come the Stormers again. It's still uncontested. Angara looks blind, but plays again. The Stormers have an opportunity here. Still 2 men in the advantage. The Stormers up 2 meters out. Brock Harris taking the ball up, clearing it. Yes, an opportunity. There it is. There it is. Marty Lebok scores the try. Wonderful stuff from the Stormers. They came back for a reset in the uncontested scrum. The Stade Francais players are not happy with the decision from the referee. But when it came to Mani Lebok, he made sure of the try, going over the chalk, and he has the opportunity now to convert his own try and put the Stormers 4 points clear, which would force Stade Francais to have to score in these last 8 minutes of this game. Being a couple of men down, you can see what it means to the coaches. I'm sure the French crowd won't be happy, but the try stands this time around. Luke Pearce has made the right call. After all that drama, all that bold and beautiful saga has come to an end now because Mani Lebok has converted his own try. It's 24 points to 20 to the Stormers. Something had to give when it came to that scrum dominance. And although it was an uncontested scrum, they had numbers on attack. The defense couldn't deal with it. And Mani Lebok scores and converts. Anthony Blankenberg says it should have been a penalty try a long time ago, but no, I agree with you, brother. And we say well done to Mani, of course. The Stormers fighting through adversity here. It's Angara to Daimani from the restart after the Stormers have regathered just outside the 22. He looked to put his chasers in a position to contest here. But he decides to go a little bit deep. And Stade Francais, a couple of men down, have to play. It looks like they will be getting the yellow card back in a couple, maybe 2 minutes or so. But still down 2 men, and the Stormers on halfway have got a penalty all over the ball there. Angara kicked it deep. Stade Francais ran it back to centre field on halfway. But all over the ball legally, says Luke Pearce, and the Stormers all of a sudden are well and truly in the driver's seat. Marnie Lebach puts them just outside the 22 of Stade Francais on this right-hand touchline. Andre Hugo Venter will feed the line out. Johan Smuts, I agree with you. It's good to have a guy like Pollard around, saying Pollard gave Monty good tips to play rugby. Valuable to the Springbok cause, of course, Marty Lebach, and all of a sudden, it's going a bit pear-shaped for Stade Francais. But the referee coming back for advantage. Rather interesting calls from Luke Pearce this evening. Never shy with his whistle, of course. We'll get a lot of tongues talking during the week. If you're a Stade Francais supporter, and also even if you're a Stormer supporter, because for much of this game, he has not been shy, but the Stormers up front have dominated. He's still at uncontested scrums. It's Makalou at number 8 who picks and goes, and he's away. The Stormers are going to have to be careful here. He's up to the Stormers 10-meter mark, so a wonderful run from the replacement number 8. Is there an opportunity here? Coming back for it is Ben Loader. He had a couple of defenders on him. It got a bit loose there, but Makalou showing some strength in contact, getting away from the defense. But it was Daimani again. Not only relevant on attack, but also on defense, taking down Makalou. But the cruel bounce of the ball off to the chip ahead there from Stade Francais almost gave us some nervy moments there. Ben Loader just doing enough to get this